Okay, we are now joined by our head coaches, but before we get started with our news conference, I would like to introduce the chair of the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, Mr. Kelvin Walker.
Thank you, Charlie. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be brief as I know there are a lot of questions to be asked of the coaches. But first, we want to take a moment to welcome you all to AT&T Stadium and the 89th Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Tomorrow's CFP semifinal is setting up to be one of the ones for the record books. I can't remember the last time we've had this much hype for one of our games, and we're happy to have our Longhorn and Buckeye fans here in town. I now have acquired another 100,000 Buckeye and Longhorn fans who need tickets, so it's been quite the time this week. But it's great to see both of the coaches here. Coach Day, it's good to see you here. Coach Sark, good to see you here as well. Coach Day, this is your second time in a row coming here, and we're happy to have you come back. You're becoming a regular here. Coach Sarkisian was the 1997 MVP of the Cotton Bowl, so it's good to see him come back again. And so once again, we believe we will have a wonderful matchup tomorrow, and we're excited about it. And before I take my seat, I'd like to present both of you with our official Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic cowboy hats.
Oh my.
Thank you all for coming, and we'll proceed with the program.
Very nice. Okay, thank you, Kelvin. Appreciate that. Let's get going with our news conference. We want to say welcome to Coach Day and Coach Sarkisian, and thank you for taking time out of your last day of preparation to be with us. We will begin our news conference by asking our head coaches for an opening statement, and then we will move to the floor for questions. And we will start with Coach Sarkisian. Coach?
Yeah, I'd like to begin with, first of all, with the recent tragic events in New Orleans, and obviously what's happening in Los Angeles right now. Obviously, speaking on behalf of myself, Coach Day, both of our programs, our thoughts and prayers with all those that have been affected by this. What is happening in Los Angeles right now is unfathomable. Being from Los Angeles, a lot of friends and family there that are affected, and so I just hope everybody out there can keep their thoughts and prayers with those, and obviously those in New Orleans, into some of the tragic events that have occurred. As far as being here at the Cotton Bowl, it's an honor. Obviously, being at the University of Texas and the Cotton Bowl are synonymous with one another. I can't believe it's been over 20 years since the University of Texas has been in this game. So to be back, it's an honor. Obviously, being in the semifinal game, I think it's a credit to our players and to our staff, the work that they've put in. 2 years in a row we've been in this place now, and it's been something that we were striving for when we first took over the program. And so year 3, year 4 to be back, it's definitely it's an honor, but it's also a credit, I think, to the people in our organization for the work that they've put in. That being said, we've got a great opponent. That doesn't need to be said probably much more. I mean, Coach Day's done a great job. He's got a tremendous staff, great talent on their team. They've navigated the season tremendously. I think in this day and age of college football, to think that you're just going to go unblemished is probably not realistic, especially not in our two conferences with the amount of quality teams that you have to play week in and week out, and the grind that it puts on your team, not only physically but mentally. And it's, I think, the ones that can be standing here January 9th and 10th, playing for an opportunity to play for a national championship. I think the credit is due to all 4 teams, but obviously the job that he's done to get them here. So it's a great honor. It's humbling, but it's also a great opportunity and one we're looking forward to.
Hey, Coach, thank you so much. Coach Day?
Yeah, I'll echo Coach Sark's comments, certainly about all the tragedies that are going on, certainly in California, and Coach's background there, and certainly just being there last week has given our coaches and team opportunity to pause and certainly give our thoughts and prayers to those that are going through that difficult time, and certainly those in New Orleans. We're very excited about being here again. I think the Cotton Bowl does a great job hosting their teams. I think their team does a great job. It's a great setting. Certainly, AT&T Stadium is one of the best game environments there are throughout college football and the NFL. So we're excited to be here again. I'll say this for our team. we every week we've had an opportunity to grow and to build, and we're excited about being here in this spot. Again, I'll echo what Coach said about this new format has allowed teams to grow throughout the season. And I think Coach Sark has done a great job, and his staff and his team, of growing throughout the season. You can see every week, every month, as the season has gone on, they've grown, they've changed, they've adapted, they've built, and they've stayed resilient throughout the season. And they're a very, very good opponent, very, very talented, well coached, played in big games before. And so it's a great opponent, and it's going to be a great atmosphere. Our team's very, very excited about playing in it, and I'm excited for our fans. I think that when you think about the players and the coaches in this new format, week after week, the work that they're putting in, but also for our fans, the lengths that they've come to decide to get on a plane and buy tickets to come to this game, and then throughout the country. I think it all matters, and I think it's great for college football, and it's great for Ohio State, and it's great for Texas.
Hey, Coach Dave, thank you so much. Let's now move to questions from the floor. Remember, please raise your hand. We already have a bunch up, and we will get a microphone. I think our first question should go here on the right on the aisle. Second row, okay?
I've got Bill Rabinowitz from the Columbus Dispatch. Question for each coach. Ryan, you guys have had the fewest offensive snaps of any of the semifinalists. Chip Kelly said last night that was by design, I'm assuming, just to reduce the wear and tear. How much of a benefit do you think that is right now? And for Coach Sarkisian, you said in our Zoom thing last week that you were a massive underdog. Why do you think that?
You want Coach Sark to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Well, the reason they have the least amount of snaps is because they're scoring so fast. There's so many big plays that are happening. But some joke in there, but some reality. They've been extremely explosive offensively. And I think a lot of times, in this format, now we're kind of in this NFL format model, it's not always about who was the best team for 12 games, it's who's playing the best football this time of the year. And I think we could all agree what Coach Day's done, their team, them coming out of that Michigan game and what they've been able to do since the playoffs have started has been tremendous. And that's a credit to Coach Day and his staff of re-galvanizing that roster and getting them going. And I could probably poll everybody in this room, and you probably all agree they're the favorite to win the game. And that's okay, but that's football, that's sport. That's why we have to do what we do. So I'm not going to back off of what I said. The reality is the reality. Now we have to go perform. That's our responsibility as a football team to go perform. But they've earned that right because of the way they played here the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I just feel like every week is a whole new week, and so certainly the way that Texas won the game last week, there's momentum there. And I think it's important for all of us, if we have momentum, to keep it. If we don't, we have to go get it. But the truth is that nothing that Ohio State has done or Texas has done up until this week has anything to do with what's going to happen in this game. Zero. And if you think any otherwise, then just go back a couple weeks and see where we were a couple weeks ago. And so every single week, the slate is wiped clean, and you have to start from scratch again. And that starts with your meetings, with your walkthrough, and with your preparation. And so the bottom line is this game is going to be played. The team that plays the best and executes the best is going to win the game. And so there's a lot of opinions out there, I'm sure, of what everyone's going to expect. But ultimately, it's going to come down to the players on the field and how they play. And there's going to be a lot of great players on both sides. It's going to come down to who takes care of the ball and ultimately executes better in the end. So it should be a great night for football, and so certainly we're obviously excited about playing in the game. In terms of the way that we designed this year, part of it was the fact that we felt like by cutting down the number of snaps, it would certainly help with the length of the season and the health of our team. But also getting in a huddle and having Will Howard look 10 guys in the eye, break a huddle together, kind of grew as the season went on. And there was a little bit a part of that we felt like gave us a little bit of an edge. We broke the huddle together, which I know it sounds crazy, the huddle, it's almost like going back in time, but it's sort of a new thing really, because of, the no huddle offenses that have been around, and certainly we've been a part of that. But as time went on, the guys felt more and more comfortable and broke that huddle together as a group and as a team and as a unit. And I think that helped us. Now, we don't always do that, but it has allowed us an opportunity to be more cohesive on offense.
I think we have a question on the inside aisle. We could move to that, and then we'll go back to that side. But the microphone's coming to you. Just hang on. Here on Coach's left.
Josh Newman from Lone Star Live. Steve, with Jay Hartzell leaving his post as UT president in a few months, can you just reflect on your time working with President Hartzell? He's the guy that hired you, obviously.
Yeah, I have so much respect for Jay Hartzell, President Hartzell. He was interim president at UT, and he was interim in the midst of a pretty tumultuous time with COVID. We had social injustice. He had to make a hire for a football coach at the University of Texas, which is not always the easiest thing to do. And he took a chance and took a risk on me as an assistant coach at that time. And then the support that he gave not only the football program, but the entire athletic department, I think Chris Delcani would echo the same sentiments, was tremendous. I've never seen a president come to a baseball game and go to a volleyball game and be at a basketball game, not only be at the football game and just be part of our community. Is somebody that will be sorely missed. His leadership was something that I definitely envied and tried to model a lot of things behind. And so he'll be sorely missed. I'm sure the powers that be and Chairman Eltife and all parties involved will find another great president. But he did a tremendous job in the 4 years that I was here, that's for sure.
Stay on the left side, toward the middle.
Yeah, Kurt Bowles from the Houston Chronicle. Steve, everybody knows you like to script plays. Have you continued to be able to do that in the playoffs and given your fast starts the last 2 games? Have you been tempted to even expand your script?
Well, yeah, we don't, Coach Day touched on it, we don't really change, week to week. There's a formula that I think good programs believe in their formula, and part of our formula is our opening scripts. And that's not going to change this week either. And I'll probably have a press conference at the end where I'll say, man, the opening script was great. Why did it work? Or I'm going to have one that, what happened? What was wrong? But that's not the end all be all. We try to put our players in position to have some success early on and build some confidence. And again, that's been something I've done for quite some time. I'm probably not much different than most programs. Hopefully the ones we script tomorrow night work. We'll see.
Stay on the left side toward the back.
Yeah, Yogi Roth, Big Ten Network, really for both of you. You got a huge job. You're the CEO, you're the face of the school, you're the head coach. Coach Sark, you're still calling plays. I'm curious what's that like in this era for you in your 16th game, and then for Coach Day, what it's been like this season having Coach Kelly and going from the play caller to now truly the head coach and the CEO and giving those duties away.
Well, I think for me, you were with me, years ago. That was a long time ago, by the way. I always felt like, when I got hired to do this job, I was the offensive coordinator at Alabama, and we were a pretty good offensive team. And we brought a lot of those same pieces from that staff over. Kyle Flood came, offensive line coach. Jeff Banks came, working with the tight ends. AJ Millie was our analyst. He's here coaching quarterbacks. So we all kind of came together, and the rhythm of which we operated, we just kind of continued. And we've kept that continuity. We've had a couple different receiver coaches. We've had 2 running back coaches, but that continuity. And so we've got a pretty good rhythm and routine throughout the week, which I've got a ton of trust in those guys from a preparation standpoint. And then the line of communication on game day for us is just, we've been doing it for so many years now. We're 6 years in of doing it together. Coach Flood and I were together with the Falcons 2 years before that. So we've been together for 8 years now. And so our line of communication is really pretty healthy and clean. I don't know if that day will come. I do know we keep getting more and more stuff put on our plate as head coaches that we have to deal with. But at the end of the day, there's something about that aspect of the game that I love, and as long as I'm decent at it, I'll probably continue to do it.
You're definitely decent at it, Coach. I can say that. Because, I got so much respect for how Coach and his offense and staff, and how, first off, they have a tremendous amount of weapons, but the way that they come after you, they're very aggressive. And for years, I've always studied Steve's stuff and what he does on offense, and he and I have had conversations about things that we do, and so he's a tremendous offensive mind, and so a lot of respect there. I think for us, on offense, the first thing is, I love that part of it as well, but I felt like it was time for me to just spend a little bit more time of my thoughts and resources with the team, defense, special teams. I felt like late in the week, coming up in your mind with what to call on 4th and 3 on the left hash, on the 21-yard line in the fourth quarter, like it consumes your mind, and I think that's what makes great play callers, but it allowed me to step away a little bit, and Chip's been a huge help there, but it's also everybody on that offensive side of the ball. Justin Fry, Brian Hartline, Keenan Bailey, Carlos Lachlan all do a wonderful job, and in our support staff as well. So it's a team effort.
You're on the front row.
Stefan Kreising, Cleveland.com. For both